bituthane pre-pour waterproofing system? The answer is simple. It's the first to offer truly effective blindside waterproofing protection. Developed by Grace Research, this innovative system is engineered to provide superior waterproofing protection under concrete slabs and on concrete foundation walls. Bituthane pre-pour membranes are installed before the structural slab or the foundation walls are poured. With the pre-pour system, you can now effectively tank or envelope the entire below-grade structure. The system provides positive side protection that stops water before it can enter the structure. Bituthane pre-pour membranes are unique. They develop a continuous mechanical bond with the concrete that is cast against them. This bond prevents water migration between the membrane and the concrete. In addition, you can leave the membranes exposed to weather for up to 30 days without worrying about deterioration. Protection begins once the system is in place and the concrete is poured. It doesn't need water to activate it or soil to confine it. All components are compatible and engineered to work together. You'll quickly discover the system is easy to install. In underslab applications, the substrate may be compacted earth or a mud slab. Then the bituthane pre-pour HD membrane is installed over the substrate. The black heavy-duty HDPE film faces down towards the substrate, while the adhesive layers face up toward the slab to be poured. In foundation wall applications, the soil retention system is erected first. The next step is to cover it with hydroduct drainage composite or plywood for a smoother finish. Then the membrane is easily attached to the surface. In this case, the HDPE film faces the soil retention system, while the adhesive layers face the wall to be poured. On close inspection, you can see that the bituthane pre-pour membrane is made up of multi-layered sheets. The outer layer is a tough, high-density polyethylene film. The middle layer is a highly aggressive, pressure-sensitive adhesive. And the inner layer is a specially formulated, weather-resistant white coating. The middle and inner layers are engineered to work in synergy to develop a strong mechanical bond with the concrete cast against it. The bond is created as the liquid concrete becomes interlocked with the conformable adhesive layers of the membrane. There are two bituthane pre-pour membranes, pre-pour membrane and pre-pour HD membrane. HD stands for heavy duty. Pre-pour membrane is for vertical use over soil retention systems covered with hydroduct drainage composites. The other, pre-pour HD, is for horizontal use under concrete slabs. It incorporates a heavy-duty HDPE film and special surface treatment for foot traffic. Let's take a close look now at three projects where the bituthane pre-pour system met the challenge. The first project is the Boston University School of Management. It has 3 parking levels, with the lowest level being 40 feet below grade and 30 feet below the water table. Given this critical situation, the design team chose to wrap or tank the entire foundation in pre-pour waterproofing membranes. Because of the clay soil conditions and the high water table, a mud slab was installed to provide a working slab for the trades. Pre-pour HD membrane was then put down on the mud slab and was terminated against the soil retention system. This provided an area for the crew to tie into the pre-pour wall membrane with pre-pour tape. The design team also chose to pour a 3-inch concrete screed on top of the pre-pour HD membrane to provide maximum protection from the heavy reinforcing steel. Once the pre-pour membrane is put up and the walls poured, you have a completely tanked foundation system. The second project involves a cut-and-cover tunnel on the Spadina subway extension in Toronto, Ontario. The walls consisted of a timber-lagging soil retention system covered with plywood. Notice the bituthane pre-pour membrane comes ready to use. It is packaged in rolls so you can cut it into convenient lengths on-site. Several sections of membrane can be cut at one time and set aside. The membrane is lightweight and easily carried to the area by members of the crew. Long lengths of membrane are hung in teams of 2. It is simply draped down the wall. The self-adhesive side lap is lined up and pressed tightly. The top of each sheet is nailed and the side lap is back-nailed to secure attachment to the soil retention system. The plastic release liner is pulled off to expose the white coating which protects the membrane from the weather and allows the concrete to bond to it. Unlike other bituthane membranes, the surface is not sticky. Detailing is simple. The membrane is cut around the formed tie rods and sealed with pre-pour tape and liquid membrane. Once the pre-pour membrane is in place, the reinforcing steel and formwork are installed. One-sided forming systems are preferred since they minimize the number of protrusions through the pre-pour membrane. Finally, the concrete is poured and the mechanical bond begins to develop as the concrete cures. The third project we'll look at is the Maytep Chiller Vault for Harvard University. Here, Prepur HD was installed on a mud slab. They used Prepur HD to save time as it can be installed as soon as the mud slab can accept foot traffic, in this case, the next day. This saved nearly a week on the construction schedule. In addition, since Prepur HD does not adhere to the substrate, it can be applied over damp surfaces. Prepur HD was turned up onto the structural slab formwork and eventually tied into the bituthane waterproofing on the walls. When you look closely, you can see that the Prepur membrane bonds tenaciously to the structural slab. Soon these structures rise up and begin to take real shape. You may not be able to see the waterproofing, but you know it's in place, doing its job protecting the building from the devastating effects of water. The system works because of its unbeatable waterproofing properties and because it's backed by the skilled professionals of Grace Construction Products. Professionals with a vision of providing exceptional value to designers, specifiers, and contractors alike. The Bituthane Prepur system, the most innovative and effective waterproofing system in years.